Hi, I'm Kirk Thornton. I'm the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog. I voice Jean in Samurai Champloo, Saïx in Kingdom Hearts. Who else? Saito in Kenshin. And enjoy your bento. You know? In fact, share some with me, will you?
I'm Bradley McGinnis with Pop Culture Bento here at Otakon 2019, and I have the pleasure of being with Kirk Thornton, who is a mainstay in the anime industry. I mean, a voiceover legend. I've been exposed to your role since childhood, going from Gabumon to Digimon, and that was you're always starstruck whenever you see that. It's like, oh, I can't believe he was like part of that, and going finally up to the point with Baki, Baki's father,
Right.
Which is such a departure, but I know that you tend to voice either, I guess you could call it badass or edgy characters. That seems to be a running theme throughout your career.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because sometimes, years ago, I was known even on Google, the page it says he's known for gravelly old men, and I kind of go through phases. Sometimes I'll play the gravelly old guys, and sometimes I'll play like. Jade on from Tales,
yep.
and he's very smooth and sophisticated, and then I play the gravelly badasses like Hanma on Baki.
See, yeah, I would definitely think not gravelly old men. That never crossed my mind whatsoever. But I think one of my first exposures, aside from Gabumon or even like his other Digivolutions, was Saito Hajime from Rurouni Kenshin.
Uh-huh.
That was probably one of the coolest things I ever saw back in the day, because it was when Toonami was the only place around that you could actually watch shows like that. Mm-hmm. And then you have two samurai going at it, and it was pretty vicious at the time. I couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
So was that always the type of role that you thought you wanted to play in the anime industry? Because it's not a bad tag to have.
No, it's not a bad tag to have at all. Yeah, I mean, those are the ones I wanted. It seems like those were not the ones that I got as often as I wanted, because I always came up as a character actor. So I would play, they'd go, oh, well, Kirk can play that role, and then he can also play that role because he's got range. And so that's where I was used a lot. I didn't get the main running characters a lot of the time, just because I had versatility.
Right, that actually says a lot, because you have a number of roles, like through even further Digimon series. You play a number of antagonists, mm-hmm. side characters, and you do a great job as Kisame on Naruto.
Thank you.
The ultimate fishman. One of my favorite villains from the show and in general.
Thank you. That's so cool.
It's just really memorable to have those kind of characters growing up. And so I wanted to also ask about Bleach, because your credits for the show are co-director, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
What did that entail? What did that involve you doing specifically?
Just wrangling actors, basically. Who are it's like herding cats. It's you get whatever actor you've got, whether it's Johnny or Mick Wingert or any Yuri, any of those guys. They're alone in the room with you and the mic, and you guide them through their performance. I mean, for the most part, they can see what's going on the screen, and you tell them to match it. But as a director, it's important that you know the entire storyline. So you say, well, yeah, these are the words coming out of your mouth, but this is where they're going to lead you. And so you have to have the interpretation in mind of where the story's going and how to lead the character there. So there's that, and there's the technical aspect of trying to hit sync.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping it with the mouth of the character. So, and knowing the context of the script is insanely important, because there's delivery that's flat, you have it in front of you, but if you don't know where it's going, what the overall objective is, you can't really put the character's emotion where it needs to be.
Right, and keeping the actors honest. It's so hard. It's like acting Shakespeare, in that there are so many different technical things that you've got to keep in mind. Like in Shakespeare, you've got to honor the iambic pentameter. You've got you've got this very formal language, and you've got to keep it real. So with dubbing anime, you've got a script that is hopefully adapted to hit sync, but just because it's adapted that way, all actors speak at different tempos. They all work differently, and so you've got to keep their performance honest and make it fit within these very narrow confines. So it's a challenge.
So when you've done your voice roles in the past, do you like to perform gestures behind the mic? Do mannerisms does it keep you in tune with the character? Because I know that's how I would approach it.
Yes, I'm a very and I'm known for that. I've got friends who make fun of me because I'm so physical behind the mic. My feet, I can't remember. We were doing it. There was a show called Monsuno.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Keith Silverstein used to video my feet while I was working because my feet were just going all over, and I was so incredibly physical. And every once in a while, you bang the mic stand or something, and you got to do a retake. But yes, I'm very physical. In fact, who was it? There's a company called Blur Animation, and they do some of the most astounding animation you've ever seen. They did they did Love, Death, and Robots. But the first job I did for them, it was a voiceover it was a promo for like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, something, one of the Marvel games. And the owner of the company was there, and he saw me working, and he went, "Oh, I should bring this guy in for mocap." And so I started doing mocap because I was so physical behind the mic.
Now, you brought up Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain your role in that series?
Yeah, I was just incredibly lucky to get the role in an episode called Fish Night. And it's an episode, Yuri Lowenthal and I, it's just the two of us. And I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it.
It's beautiful.
It's not anime, but it's absolutely gorgeous. The animation is stunning. And if you watch enough times, you pick up, there's a lot of symbolism tied under all of it. And when I was working on it, the director had me in tears because I play an old salesman, and I'm a traveling salesman, and Yuri's the young, upcoming traveling salesman. And there's a lot of symbolism of all the missed opportunities in my life and all the hopes and dreams that this guy had that kind of fell by the wayside that the younger kid still has. And so there's symbolism that way. And yeah, the director had me in tears. I was just crying watching this thing and doing it.
I mean, I've seen all of the skits involved in the series, and entirely it was a pleasure to watch as a whole. I would hope that they do a second iteration.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Because it feels like it's almost like Twilight Zone, where the possibilities for the sci-fi aspect of it are endless.
Yeah. And if I'm correct, at least they said, when I first started working on it, I was involved with a lot of them from the start, doing scratch tracks and things like that for a lot of the episodes. And I'm pretty sure that they had animators from around the world. I do that in the studio too.
No worries.
Just so you know, I'm always hitting the mic. Please forgive me.
Animators from all over the world. You can tell that in the different skits in the styles.
Yeah, so it was so neat to see all the different styles of animation. I loved watching the whole thing.
Yours was phenomenal. I also love the farmhands shooting up all the alien invasion.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I don't want to spoil the end, but that was like a huge head turner. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I could easily see that being a mobile game or just a game on any platform.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So going into your career in the future, are there any voices that you would ever want to, or you've seen a character throughout your career, it's like, wow, I really want to do that character. I want to provide that kind of voice. Because I gotta say, if Shadow the Hedgehog comes up again in the future, you have to.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I love doing Shadow, and I can't tell you, online the number of people who say, I think I should do Shadow. No, I'm good with him for now. But I'm trying to think. I can't think of anyone specific. It's always such a pleasure to just see the interesting things come up. Of course, auditions come across in my email all the time, and I go, oh my God, I would die to play that guy. There's a game now, I don't even know the name of it because they only give us code names, But and there's a character who I auditioned for, and I just killed to play him.
I can understand that, and I certainly don't mean to cut you short, but looks like we're about to wrap up here.
What?
But,
No! Keep it rolling. No, we're not stopping here.
Time absolutely certainly flies, but thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure to talk to you and meet you. This is Brad McGinnis with Pop Culture Bento at Otakon 2019. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and I had the pleasure of interviewing Kirk Thornton.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.